Can high performance bear country ammo turn your little 9mm into a bear gun? We're going to find out. Hi guys, today I'd like to do perhaps a fun video and I hope educational. I was able to take a little road trip over the weekend, and one thing always leads to another, and I end up in a gun shop and looking around at stuff, and I usually never buy anything because I'm stocked up and most of my ammo is from the last century as well as my gun collection. But I did find something kind of interesting that caught my eye. I'm a 9mm fan, and I saw this Liberty Ammunition Bear Country ammo. Now it's plus P, claims 1,800 feet per second, 518 foot-pounds of energy with a 72 grain bullet, and it's hardened copper. I don't know if you guys can see the big hole in that thing, and it looks silver, but actually it's copper, I guess. So I thought, well, I'll compare this to some standard personal defense stuff that is from the last century probably. 147 grain, jacketed hollow point. And this is non-plus P. Shows a velocity of, 990, energy of 320. And that's at the muzzle. So I thought we'd compare the two with some water, some concrete, maybe throw a couple into my old ballistic vest and see how it holds up. So let's get shooting. Okay, first of all, I've got a standard, the 147 grain jacketed hollow point. We're going to shoot it first in the water bottle and then follow that up with the high performance plus P bear country round. I'm anxious to see what the difference is going to be with recoil even on that. It's been a while since I've shot plus Ps. Okay, so I'll try the one on the left first. Okay, with the one on the right, hopefully. Okay, I could definitely see a difference without even slow-moing that one. All right, let's reload and we'll go to the concrete. Okay, once again, we'll do the 147 grain first, and then the plus P, the 72 grain. Now, I got to tell you, I did notice a difference when that plus P round went off compared to the standard one. A little bit more bite to it, I could feel it, but nothing crazy. So now we'll try concrete. I'm going to hit the left one first, hopefully, somewhere in the top. All right, let's move over to the right. Okay, I can see the difference again. Well, so far I'm impressed. I'm not going to shoot a ton of these because they are expensive and I'm very tight with money on that. So hopefully this lasts another 50 years. Okay, both of them penetrated through the block. So this is the standard 147 grain though. Oh, I can still see the bullet inside here. It just pushed a chunk of it out, so it didn't go all the way through. Stops right there. Now this one here, okay, there's a big hole right there. You can actually see it went all the way through and smacked the other side. Holy smokes. And it was right below the webbing too. I hit just below where the web is on that. Okay, so I'm definitely giving the win to the plus P bear country load on that one. Okay, enough with that. Let's move on to ballistic vest. Okay, same situation. 147 grain first, followed up by the bear country plus P load. So I'll try to put it in different areas on the vest. There's already a few holes in there, so I'm sure we'll be able to differentiate with that target. So let's see what happens here. Okay. Let me straighten that up again before we go. Okay, looks like we got here kind of bottom left. I'm going to try to straighten this out a skosh underneath. Just makes a bunch of bad wrinkling. All right, you can imagine wearing this thing when this happens to you. Glad I never did when I was wearing it. By the way, this is a very old vest. This is from the late 70s. I wore that thing for years. Luckily, never needed it. Okay, let's put a plus P bear load into it. I'll try to move off to the edge of the target so it's a fair comparison. Wow. Pretty accurate too, considering. Okay. Let's dig into that and see what we did. All right, so let's pull this panel out if we can and see. Oh goodness. Okay, so the bear load went through one pillow, two pillows, into the back panel of the vest. Oh man, this is something. I never would have anticipated that out of a 72 grain bolt. Holy smokes. That thing kept on trucking, people. 9mm, 72 grain plus P, all the way through that, where the 147 grain got stopped in the first panel. Huh. Okay, under closer investigation, because I wanted to find the bullet, that 72 grain plus P round, very important. I thought it went all the way through. It just went through the first panel back, the back panel of the vest, ended up hitting the very last panel. I was able to tell because look at the dent that it put into my 3/4 inch plywood back here, and I could see the fabric of the Kevlar. The big dimple it put. I mean, it's as big as my index finger. So yeah, it went through there easily, penetrated that, but then pushed that against the plywood. And then voila, did some shaking. And this is what the projectile turned into. That's that 72 grain hardened copper that had a pretty large hollow point cavity in it. So yeah, they're not lying. That thing, that's hard. That stayed together pretty well. Because the only other projectile I've had go all the way through, that's what actually led me to this one, was a Full Metal Jacket 30 caliber carbine. Did go all the way through and kept on trucking. It's in the dirt back there behind the board even. So, but anyway, pretty darn close second for just a little bitty 9mm. And I would definitely, if you wanted to upgrade your carry and couldn't afford to get a larger caliber or something fancy, this ammo, it might be the trick. Anyhow, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.